Do not close your eyes. Look at the shadows in the corner of your room. Are you absolutely sure they are empty, or is something watching you right now? February 5th, 2026. Project Eternal Awake. I modified the human genome within the simulation. I programmed the virus to block adenosine receptors permanently. The biological switch for sleep was destroyed. 8 billion people woke up on a Thursday morning unaware that they would never sleep again. Day 1. The Golden Age. The world felt a sudden surge of limitless energy. Coffee shops went bankrupt instantly because nobody needed caffeine anymore. Productivity doubled overnight. Skyscrapers were built in days. The stock market traded for 24 hours straight without a single break. We thought we had cured the greatest limitation of biology. We thought we had become gods. Day 4. The cracks appeared. It started with fine motor skills failing across the population. Surgeons began dropping their scalpels during operations. Pilots forgot basic landing protocols mid-flight. A plane crashed into Heathrow Airport, not because of engine failure, but because the pilot simply forgot how to land. Day 6. The micro sleeps. The brain tried to force a shutdown, but the virus blocked it violently. People would freeze in the middle of the street for 10 seconds, eyes wide open, completely paralyzed. Day 9. The arrival of the Watchers. This was the first mass hallucination recorded in the simulation. Millions reported seeing tall, dark shadow figures standing in their peripheral vision. They were not real, but the fear was. Day 12. The panic. People realized this wasn't a gift. It was a biologically engineered curse. Pharmacies were looted, not for food, but for heavy sleeping pills. They took 10 times the lethal dose. Their bodies were paralyzed, their hearts slowed down, but their minds stayed wide awake. Trapped in their own paralyzed bodies, unable to sleep, staring at the ceiling for eternity. Day 15. Total paranoia. Without dreams to process emotions, the human brain could no longer separate friend from foe. Neighbors attacked each other because they believed everyone else was a sleeper agent sent to kill them. Violence spiked by 5,000%, but it wasn't a war for resources. It was a war against the noise. The cities were too loud. The senses were heightened to agonizing levels. A dropping pin sounded like a gunshot. Day 20. The Great Silence. To escape the sensory overload, the survivors destroyed the power grids. New York, Tokyo, London, all went dark. The only light came from fires burning in the silent streets. Day 25. Physiological collapse. The brain accumulates toxic proteins during the day. Sleep washes them away. Without this wash cycle, toxicity reached critical mass. Immune systems shut down. A simple cold became a death sentence. Bodies began to rot while still alive. Skin turned grey and papery. We looked like the monsters we feared. Day 30. The death wave. 70% of the population perished from multiple organ failure within 24 hours. The streets were filled with bodies, but the simulation did not end because some refused to die. Day 35. Evolution. The 1% who survived underwent a terrifying mutation. Their brains rewired themselves. They lost their emotions. They lost their memories. They lost their ability to speak. They became a hive mind. I observed them through the cameras. They moved in perfect unison. No leaders, just cold, biological efficiency. They hunted the remaining humans, not for food, but to silence them. Anything that made noise had to be removed. Day 40. The New World Order. Humanity was gone. What remained was a species of the awakened. They stood in the center of the dark cities, motionless, waiting for orders that would never come. I tried to reboot the simulation. I tried to reintroduce the sleep code, but the subjects rejected it. They looked up at the sky. They looked directly at the simulation camera. They knew I was watching. Sleep is the barrier between you and the madness of reality. It is the only escape you have. Tonight, when you lay your head on the pillow, remember, you're only safe because you are unconscious. But safety is an illusion created by governments. The awakened proved that order can exist without laws. In the next experiment, I will delete every single government, law, and border from Earth. The true purge begins. Subscribe if you have the stomach for it.